These are the butter. And you're now listening to DJ Oske. You go to bar, producer to bar, everything. We are Joe for one, Joe for me. Let's go.
So I mean, you will never be alone in Jesus' name. Don't let that curse you, eh? Emilombu, you are abusing me. And sometimes I think that you live for this Monday abuse that you usually give me. I don't understand your life.
I've never denied it. I think it's a fact. So
what filled with hot hatred? Are you a Yoruba demon?
Would you like to answer that?
A rotten cockroach, like one dry comedian used to say.
You will be what? Very.
You are
okay.
a rotten cockroach.
You will be very okay.
So today, I'm going to expose you. So me, East Coast, West Coast, like the eclipse. I'm going to cover your face with shade.
Don't even bring that up because I missed it. So.
During the time.
I couldn't see it from where I was. Anyways, there was no chance of me seeing it.
Watch it on TV. That's what's there. You see no sun, and sun goes down every day. You guys are excited for nothing. You want why Americans don't chop better phone and say they go chase black sun all over. Shut the fuck up. It's all rubbish. TB happens every 1.5 years. In the next 1.5 years, I will. It
does not happen every 1.5 years.
No,
it happens every 100 years.
No. On Earth, every 1.5 years, one place will experience the total eclipse.
But we're not going to experience it here. I'm not going to freaking, Nicaragua next year.
In the next 1.5 years, I'll just travel to where it is. There's no struggle there. Bae, are you listening? You know. Wink, wink. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's your boy DJ Wuske Thoughts, aka Wuske Music Comedy, aka Olua Nikolele. Only God can do it. Let's go, ladies with the big breast. Are you proud? Are you mad? Are you centered? Ladies with the small breast. Do better. Put tissue paper inside. Tall niggas, short niggas, fat people, thin people. Welcome to the show. It's the rain.
Ladies with the small breast, please. The issue here is I don't think anybody has had the time to actually stop and tell you. That's the difference. But
breast before. Have you uncovered breast before? And you're like, bro.
Okay, moving on because I'm going to put somebody in trouble this evening.
People are going to start eating now, but
wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, like one time I removed my trousers and she was like, she didn't fuck. So I mean, life is like that, man. So if they do it to me, I can do it back too. So no stress.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, I am here with Wuske, and like I say every week, if you're listening to the show alone, you're doing it wrong. Tell a friend to tell another friend. Put it on your Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever. Get your folks out here to listen to the show today. We have a very fluid discussion that we're going to have on today's show about an overarching topic, which is just this concept of like hate. And if you're from, okay, Magbon, you can call it bad belle. And we're gonna explore it in different little dynamics. So in terms of social media, in terms of race relations in the country, in terms of personal interactions or relationships, we'll explore all of that today on today's show. But before we get into that, there is a few things that we'd like to run through very quickly. A big shout out to everybody that applied for the Rants Education Fund and the scholarship. The applications closed last Tuesday. Shout out to everybody that's applied so far. Well, that applied before it was closed. All the information is under review, and we will be getting back to all the applicants accordingly. Also wanted to... Huh?
I'm excited for them.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited too. Also wanted to take a moment to shout out all of my personal people that had their birthdays last week. We definitely had somebody on the Rants family, Ninslo, whose birthday was last week, so shout out to Nins. And this week, shout out to my baby brother, Daniel, whose birthday is in 2 days, and my cousin, Tosin, whose birthday is later this week. And to everybody else that has birthday celebrations, wedding anniversaries, divorce anniversaries. Shit, that should be live too. Shout out to all of you. To you, your family members, and everybody that's involved. Thank you guys, and hope you have a fabulous year ahead of you. Yeah, how was your weekend?
My weekend was dope. I went to Amarillo, Texas, the center of where everything goes to die, and that's where my mom was doing like a retirement party. She's finally retired, and so I'm glad because the man can't hold her down anymore. She paid off her house. She's driving a dope ass fucking Lexus. Like my mom is just living the dream, bro. And so shoot, I'm happy as fuck. I'm happy retirement, mama. I know you ain't listening because otherwise I wouldn't be cussing so much. So
wow. So I think that what we need to do is get your mom to listen to one of the shows.
Although my mom won't be surprised though. I mean, she'll just be like, "You want more?" Because that's the way she looks at me now. Because in her mind, the next step is grandkids, and since that's not happening, anything else is on the table.
What?
No thanks for me.
God, y'all listening? May your life never be a lost cause.
No, don't worry. My sister is married, so she can have the
Jesus Christ. Oh,
yeah, I'm still for my girlfriend.
Is your sister like a mom yet?
No. She got married a year and couple months ago. She just finished her residency. She's starting work in 2 weeks. My sister's making some cash, man. OBGYN out in Dallas. So if your vagina is dry, hit my sister up. She'll fix you up right quick. I don't know if that's how medicine works, but I decided to plug OBGYN there for a couple seconds. I think dry vaginas, right?
Well, my God.
Like spread your legs open with the clamp and then throw some moisture in there.
You need help. I have a checking question to ask everyone.
You didn't say how your weekend was now, Sammy.
Oh, my weekend was
baby,
relaxing and stressful at the same time. It had different elements, but
Sammy, did you have sex?
Did I have what?
Did you have sex? Did you penetrate the vagina?
Yeah.
Where's the hand?
First of all, a gentleman does not kiss and tell, so
I didn't ask for their name.
But then again, I will say this: I had some nice plantain this weekend, which to me equals the sex. So essentially, I got it in.
You answered the question. That
Stupid.
You are president. You guys should meet up because you are both demons of a kind.
Who are who?
You are the president because you Coco said that you support white supremacists. Then you now went on.
Whoa!
And they said there are many nice people on both sides. So me, confess if you had sex, yes. Then don't go back to plantain and say you meant plantain.
I'm a virgin. I think I said this on the show many times. I'm a virgin, so.
Oh my goodness.
I just want to put that out there that I'm a virgin.
Cut the call,
but I will say this though, even though in my virginity I've heard before that one of the nicest places to have sex is in a very nice tub with some hot water coming from the shower, and you're on your knees feasting.
So that means
that's what I've heard. I'm not confirming this.
The weekend of the 19th and 20th, Somi had sex in a tub.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Good.
That is not what I said.
I'm living through you.
But I have a question. This might be even like we add this. This would be another checking question. And this is not for the people that want to come on the timeline pretending that they've never had sex before. Let's not come out fool ourselves. But for those that have, has it ever happened to you that you want to have sexual relations with someone, or you want to have sex, but you only want to have it to one specific person, even though you're not in a relationship. Like, has that ever happened? Like, in your mind, like, you want that one person, like, even when you're single. Like, it could be because the connection is, like, better than anything else, or whatever the case might be. I'm just, like, wondering, like, if somebody has ever had that where you're like, you know, you'd much rather just do it with that one particular person. I'm curious.
I mean, every day, right? That's life.
No, see, no, not like in a general sense. Like,
okay,
I'm more like, so imagine like a guy who is single, has like, you know, 5 different girls that he's dating or something, but at the moment Konji is catching him, he only wants to have sex with that one person, even if that person is not accessible. Like, that's the only person that he wants, even though he could have anybody else that in that same space. You know, you get what I'm saying?
Okay. I mean, the way I look at it is, there is always going to be one ideal person that you want to bang, right? And any way you can get it, you get it. And I think both men and women experience that. Yeah, but for men are usually less choosy about who they have sex with, which is super sad. But yeah, that's.
But
that's
you
life.
know, anybody that's having sex, you know, please show me the way. Because we know anyways, moving on. The question that I wanted to ask people is a scenario that basically fell into my lap, because I know the person knows that we post these scenarios, but I wasn't sure initially if they wanted it to be shared, but then, you know, they confirmed that they wanted it, so I posted it today, really late from when I normally post stuff. But anyways, the scenario was before they got with their boyfriend, they had heard rumors that the boyfriend had tried to convince someone that he was dating to have an abortion. They couldn't confirm it or whatever, and they weren't with the guy, so it didn't matter. So when they got with the guy, they didn't ask, they just kept going along. And when, I guess time has now passed, when she finally asked, he said, yeah, he convinced her to get the abortion, but he wasn't even sure if the baby was his, because he and the girl were not in a relationship, and they were both seeing other people, even though they thought they were exclusive or whatever. He felt like they were seeing other people. Now, my question to folks is he supposed to tell that he, like, is that something you disclose? Because, and before people start answering, is a man in that kind of situation supposed to say, hey, I've gotten a girl to get an abortion before? Or, and if you say yes, what happens if the script is flipped and a girl has had an abortion before her relationship? Is she supposed to tell her new partner that she's had an abortion before? So, what do you think, Oscar?
Asking women to get abortion. Hey, you know, I won't lie, I've almost been in that situation before, but luckily she was just lying. Imagine a girl lying to you that she's pregnant because she knows you're going to break up with her. Hey, anyway, I broke up with her eventually. But I don't know. I don't have an opinion on that. I think it's very personal. I think I think Jesus. Yeah, it's super personal. I honestly think that women shouldn't have abortions if they don't want to. And putting it in the hands of the guy is asking for trouble. Either way. Either if you agree to do it or you agree or you decide not to, you agree not to do it. Because the cut and run factor is very, very much present all the time, whether you decide to have the baby or not. So I think the decision to have an abortion should be wholly on the woman's side. So I think that's my own 2 couple on that. Did I answer the question?
Not really, but I just
ask it again. Come, ask it.
If
again.
you were to go into a relationship now,
Yeah.
and you had convinced the girl to get an abortion before, would you be open? Are you going to tell your new girl, or is it none of her business? Is it something that happened before her, so she should like let it go? Like, how would you approach that?
I apologize. I wasn't listening properly before. No, that's if I convinced the girl to have an abortion and she did it, right? Oh, yeah. You mean I convinced her? Yes. So no, I wouldn't tell my girl, because then that just means that relationship is past completely. There's nothing coming from that relationship to come and visit me later. So it's not priority information. Yeah. Like how. Excuse me. My ex who had the abortion, right? If she comes back in the picture, there's nothing really tying us. Together. There's no baby. Like if there's a baby, then yes, definitely, yeah. But if there was an abortion, I don't think that's information that necessarily will come back to haunt you. Especially if your ex doesn't come back into the picture, then that's no longer a problem. But if your ex now comes back and starts causing kasala, because
that one is how he usually, Abi.
Because I don't see I don't see why that should be a consideration in a relationship, unless my new girlfriend asks me, right, that have you ever convinced someone to have an abortion before? Yeah, then I can now say yes, I have. But it's not like, hey, guess what? My ex, we had an abortion. No, it doesn't concern anybody, but me and the person it happened between.
That sounds fair. I said that sounds fair, but me that I've gotten in so much trouble.
Wait, have you done that before? Have you asked?
No, please, oh. You know what's funny? I think I can say it now, but I've had somebody on the timeline who was like passing a rumor that I convinced the girl to do that. Like,
really? Why would they pass that rumor? Or they're just joking?
The funny thing is I don't even fucking know the guy. It's a guy, BT Dubs. Oh my God. And yeah, the day I heard it the first of the year last year, and I literally went on my knees. Like, I was coming from church, from crossover service, and I walked in and I was on the phone with a friend, and it was like, oh, so I wanted to tell you this thing I heard, and I was like, what? I'm thinking that they would say, oh, they said you fuck some chick, or whatever the case was. Next thing she was like, they said you I said, huh? Me? Well, like, you know how like you hear some shit that's so like not even left field. It's like this eclipse happened and I was on another planet and it came to meet me, and then it was like, what fuckery? I was like, what? Like, I don't have, see, I'm a bad guy, but I don't have that kind of liver. Like,
wow, it's called clouds.
My liver has not reached it. You know how, I don't know if you've ever, there was this sermon that I watched once, and this pastor was talking about how did he put it? He said, don't judge other people who have gone through certain things. And I think he was referencing like people that have people that are rich or whatever. He was like, don't judge them, but also don't compare your lives to them, because the only difference is that their problems are above your pay grade. So because he was like, and I was telling someone recently, because it's like, you know, me now, I can be complaining that, oh, as I was talking right now, I remembered that I have a particular bill that's due tomorrow, and I was like, have I scheduled it or is it auto pay? I couldn't remember. But there's somebody else that is having heart attack over the fact that his container that has $10 million worth of goods is stuck on the sea or some shit like that. Like, our situations are different. Our problems, our wahalas are different. So I was just like, what? Like, nah. The day I heard that, I was like, I get liver, but my liver never reached that level before.
Some people are very, like artists now, especially Nigerian artists. I mean, they have sex at miles per hour, you know, is a lot of sex. Sequentially, continuously, babes in their bed over and over. So, you know, and people like Two-Face that don't like to use, you know, protection. Lots of abortions. Yeah.
Well,
Happens.
hopefully, I don't know. I don't know how you can just be having raw sex with random people that you don't know. But anyways, to each his own.
It is fun. I haven't had it, but I heard that it is great. Usher, I'm sure, has been having it.
Oh man! All right. There's a couple of things that we want to explore today on today's show. I had a very heated conversation with someone this weekend.
Sorry, if you're listening to the show and you've had sex with an artist, a Nigerian artist, please hit our Curious Cat. And we have a Curious Cat, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, hit our Curious Cat and just say, hello, you know, I've knocked on the Nigerian artist. I'm just curious. Was it good? Was it bad? Are you centered? Mad?
We should go ahead and tweet out the Curious Cat page. Go ahead and the other thing I wanted to say is, I know sometimes when the show is live, people tweet, and of course they have to use the hashtag. Well, they're encouraged to use the hashtag, and sometimes you want to say certain things, or you completely you disagree with me, or you disagree with Woske, but we know you, so you don't want to tweet whatever you want to see. Always feel free to use the Curious Cat page. Drop your thoughts, ideas, concerns, whatever. One time somebody came and said that, you know, Woske and we fight too much on the show or something. That was their concern. But obviously I don't give you a bloody fucking fuck. So if you wanted to, share your thoughts anonymously, go ahead and use the Curious Cat page to do that. But back to what I was saying, I had a very heated conversation with someone this weekend where a part of it was about racial relations, and the person being very shocked that there is just still so much hate in the world, and not just in the world in general, in the United States. And so I'm asking folks to dig deep a little bit today and tap into some of those experiences that you've had, and those uncomfortable experiences, or those ones that taking you out of your comfort zone, and share those with us today. And let's talk about it. And let's talk about how you navigated it, how you handled it, but also when it comes to social media interactions, you know, aside from whatever Kim Kardashian did recently, people have reasons why they don't like her or why they hate on her continuously. And we want to explore that. Why do people feel the need? Why do we love to hate so much? Or whenever bad things happen to certain people or public figures, people are very quick to say, oh, you know, this, that, and be kind of excited about the negativity. You know, Beyonce and Jay-Z, those cheating. Oh my God, of course, now she's human. She thought she was better than us. Or, Terrell and Nikita, and their situation, and people feeling like, oh, you know, I can say this about him, I can say this about her. They were not perfect. So we want to talk about it. Let's explore it. Let's talk about it today. So go ahead and call us when we come back, and the lines are open. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about, why does hate thrive so much, especially if most of us come from a place of claiming or stating that we don't have hate within us. And then we'll talk a little bit about that, but we'll also talk a little bit about implicit biases that make us feel the things that we feel, the unconscious and the conscious things that have contributed to that. But yeah, so don't go nowhere. You're listening to the Rants on Gidilounge Radio, your life, your music. We will be right. Okay, let's get not say anything. We'll be right back. See you soon. And we are back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're still listening to The Rants on Gidilounge Radio. Your life, your music, with your host, Adewus For Real, and DJ Woske.
That's me, Carlos Rito. Welcome to the show.
Let me ask you a question. How would it be if we just did an entire segment of this show in a different language?
I don't think you could keep it up, but I mean,
yeah, you
can't keep it up. All you know how to do is abuse.
Oh yeah,
you can't go tell a shit none.
Okay, just like my permission, like our guests wa. Àwọn àlejò wa ẹjọ́ o ṣe ní bínú ká fi Yorùbá ṣe gbogbo tó kù segment The Rants.
Èyí tá fẹ́ ṣe yìí.
Ẹ fún wa ní approval, ẹ lo hashtag The Rants, ẹ sọ fún wa bóyá Yorùbá wọn ti ń dánmọ́rán. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yìí, Adewus For Real ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, DJ Woske ló jókòó sọ́gbọ̀n yẹn.
Ladies and gentlemen, àwa tún ti dé àti padà dé lénìí. Orin tẹ́ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ gbọ́ wo Báyọ̀ Lámídé ẹni tó jẹ́ pé táwọn òyìnbó ń pè ní rapper àti lyricist òun ló ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ play orin ẹ̀ sórí Yorùbá tèmi gan mixed with English ni. Okay, let's stop.
ṣé o ti má dìbò lórí ètò yìí àwa fẹ́ bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ kan a máa sọ̀rọ̀ kan lénìí nsìn. Kẹ́ méjì kẹ́ gbọ́rọ̀ o ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ like Beyonce kí ló dé tẹ́ ẹ ṣe like àǹtí Beyonce ẹ wá bá wa sọ ní Monday tá wà yìí lórí The Rants. If you try to come on this show and talk about why you like Beyonce, I will punch you.
It's same as South African tweets, right? Where they start the whole tweet in English and then the punchline is in Swahili or Zulu, and you're like,
no. Those South Africans, like, they legit do that. Like,
yeah.
And the thing is, in their mind, it makes sense. Like, it's funny that you just said that because I was reading a thread once. Somebody was like ranting about something, and they made a thread, and I think they completely forgot that they wanted the whole world to know what they were talking about. So they're like, okay, so you guys, I'm making a thread. This is what happened. Mutango nang my mountain. This now happened. And somebody was just like,
no, it was very artfully done. It was like I went to the restaurant and the guy was there and his girlfriend was also there. And before you know it,
somebody now innocently just like in the middle of the thread like replied. I was like, "Yo, you realize this shit's."
Nah, that's all. It's like, are you doing this shit on purpose? Like,
oh man, shout out to South Africans, man. Please, they should not hate me because of
But we did Yoruba. We'll do a Yoruba segment. We'll go and work on our Yoruba. Then we'll produce an actual 3-minute segment every week in Yoruba purely.
See, don't mind these people. I don't know why people always assume that I cannot speak Yoruba. Why do people I mean, I appreciate it because I obviously sound fucking fantastic on the show. It's a blessing. But I just want to know why, people like to come for me. First of all, I would like to say that if you are on the timeline and you're an Igbo woman, first of all, I don't like you guys. But
what?
If you're an Igbo woman and you are using the hashtag right now, and I'm talking to 2 specific people, one of them, I can tolerate that one because she's a good actress. The other one, I don't appreciate it. And this is what I want to say. What? If you're an Igbo woman that has given and finished giving a Yoruba man giving him brain and he left his stuff with you, auntie, Yoruba is inside you. Just accept it. And don't try to come on this timeline and be starting shit. That's all I want to say.
Hey, so me, you came in an Igbo woman's mouth?
Yeah, I have. But that's not why we're here. Wait, not the ones that are on the timeline, but the ones on the timeline now. I'm just saying that I'm pretty sure that I know one of them at least her ex is Yoruba. So I'm just saying that if you started the process and you finished, and he finished inside of you, one either top or bottom, Yoruba is inside you. So you should basically tap into that and because people listen to Despacito one time and they think they're Spanish. So talk less of you than now.
What is the issue? I think you really do need to give your life to Christ. I think I'm going to send an email to both your parents and I'll be like, it's the salvation. I think you really slipped. You slipped. Did you go to church?
Oh Lord. Okay. I'm serious right now.
Did you go to church yesterday? You didn't.
Did I go to church yesterday? I was in the house of the Lord, yeah.
Oh, no. Did you go to church yesterday?
I was in the house of the Lord. That's all that matters.
Easy. Wrong.
I was in the house of the Lord. The Lord was with me, and that's all that matters.
I can see your soul slipping.
It's okay. It's not only sleep. It's to be awake. So, stop making me laugh, man. I'm trying to have a serious conversation here. Shout out to Podcast Gang. If you're listening to this on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, shout out to you guys. Make sure that you use the hashtag when you're listening. This is specific to some of the people, and a huge shout out to our listener in Australia who is ever so consistent every week in making sure that she grabs our podcast. You know yourself. We appreciate you.
Name.
Huh?
Shout out. I don't know how to pronounce her art name. Bukpeo.
You say it's Bukpeo.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh man. But I also wanted to say though that this is something that I checked recently. If I wanted to give sort of everybody a rundown of the rants in terms of like our podcast and where people listen, and in terms of like SoundCloud, the app and things like that. We have people listening from a total of 93 countries.
93.
That listen to the Rant podcast. People from Tanzania, Malawi, Virgin Islands, Ukraine, Antigua, Cameroon, the St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Netherlands, Malaysia, Ireland, Ghana. Of course, our biggest, listeners come from the United States.
Oh.
No, the United States, the United Kingdom, Nigeria, and then Canada. And then surprisingly, France. Who the fuck do you know in France? What's good?
I know a couple of babes in France. They're very sexy women. Shout out to you guys. Yes. I know.
Yeah. But shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to all of you guys that listen. And if you ever miss a show, or if you ever want to tell a friend, or you're having a conversation, you're like, yo, so these two stupid boys were talking about this shit on the Rants. And you're like, oh, I want to share it with them. It's soundcloud.com/adewusforreal. Send it to them. Have them listen to all our episodes, everything that we've talked about. They can download it. Or if they're, part of the Gidilounge family, they can use the Gidilounge app as well. The other new thing that I wanted to say before we get the show popping is the podcasts are also going to be on live stream on YouTube. So going forward, so make sure that if you wanted to catch it that way, or you knew someone who the app wasn't working for them, that was a way to do that. Make sure you share that to them. But once we get that rolling next week, we'll start sharing that with you guys. Woski, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen or been in a situation where something bad happened to someone that you know, and even if it was for a slight second, there was some satisfaction or happiness that happened in your heart before you were like, yo, I shouldn't feel that way? Has that ever happened to you before?
Oh, it happens all the time. Look, let me tell you, I rejoice in the downfall of some people sometimes, all the time. But I'll say that I used to try not to feel that way, but I realized that sometimes you're just like, she's shouting about her man all this time, and suddenly she's talking about focusing on God and things. So they broke up. Fuck you, bitch. But then I don't go out and talk about it. And after a couple months, I just in my head, I'm like, whatever, it's past. So the lesson I've learned, as an adult, as a full-grown adult, as opposed to the President of the United States, when I feel one way about something I know is negative, I close my mouth and I continue to unlook. And then when that negative sentiment is gone, then I can now approach the situation in a level-headed manner. People who can't have a measured, sensible, politically correct response are the actual savages. Those are people you need to that need to stop reproducing. There are people if you can't control your response to things as an adult, we don't need you in the future, really, and we don't need you to be having kids. I'll go as far to say that the reason we go to school, the reason we socialize, the reason we're expected to grow up, the reason there's a word called adult is that there are rules of engagement that you're supposed to follow as a member of a functioning society. Otherwise it would be downright rancor in the streets, people just stabbing everybody, people shooting everybody because there's no measure of restraint. And so, yes, I have those, going back to your question, I have those feelings a lot. Sometimes, when the Jay-Z Beyonce thing happened, I already kind of really suspected when she released the Lemonade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Immediately, I was like, oh, that happened. But I'm like, yeah, it happens in a lot of relationships. So I wasn't bitter about it. I just talked about it as a matter of fact. But in some personal cases, right, where some people have shown ill will towards me, and then, they jam their head against an iceberg, I'll celebrate internally but I'm not going to go out and say, hey, God, see your face. I asked you to send me verses on the track, and now your track has bombed. No. I'm an adult.
I think we're normal. We're human beings, right? So we definitely are allowed to feel things, and that's okay. That's all well and good. My thing is when we forget that, like, we're not supposed to, like, lord certain things over people in terms of, like, feeling happiness in their negative situations. And how this, like, why I even ask that question is something came to my mind recently. I was looking at so backstory. Terrell and Nikita, we had reached out to them to get them on one of our shows, right? And this was when they were together, flying high and good last year. And we reached out. They didn't get back to us, or they got back to us, but whatever, behind the scenes stuff. And then the video, so they broke up, and the day they broke up, or Nikita announced that they broke up on Instagram via an Instagram post. Somebody, like, screenshot it and sent it to me, and was like, LOL, like, I guess they finally broke up. And I was like, why are you happy about that? Like, no matter what, one or both of those people are sad, and you're happy about it. Like, I don't understand why are you pleased right now? And I think that happens for a lot of people, and I don't understand why. And I'm curious to find out from people, like, why do those things happen? Why do we allow those things to happen in our minds? And, you know, I feel like that translates into, like, different things, into, like, personal relationships, where...
See, like I said, like, it happens in your mind, but it takes... I mean, as an adult, you should show restraint in manifesting it in one way or the other. I mean, for instance, like, there are some pages on Instagram. Like, I run one of these pages on Instagram that, like, takes things from Twitter and social media, and then we post them on Instagram. Things that I think are interesting that people would like. And sometimes some of these pages, like, would post something that's extremely petty, like, this person is hating on me, and now God has caught you. And I'm like, it's not necessary. It's not that serious. Good things happen to good people. Bad things happen to good people. Like, things happen to people all the time. Now, some people deserve, you know, some horrible luck, but it should be a measure of how grown you are. In that, when it happens, you just carry on your business, because it just means that you're not dwelling on it. You're grown, you know. So, I mean, so it's not. Sometimes you're not in control of having that hate in your heart, or that minute of resentment. So sometimes it's not your fault. It'll just happen because, like for instance, I had an argument with someone when I was working in Nigeria. I had an argument with someone in the office. And then I present my case. She was like, okay, I'm wrong and I'm sorry. Stop being angry. And I was like, you've apologized. I've accepted your apology. I have no control on my anger. Like, on being angry, you have no control in stopping my anger. Just let me be angry. When my anger is gone, then it's gone. But we'll both agree that we've ended this argument. So sometimes I don't blame people for being angry, right? I don't know what's going on inside you, and if you can't control it, I can't control it from outside. But it's a measure of being an adult in just knowing how to just step back and let it simmer and then let it go away. When you're manifesting it in a childish way, then that's super fucked up.
My thing is, like, I feel like you're right. Like, there's certain moments where you, like, you feel something, and like, but it should be very quick. And the reason behind that is, like, is this implicit bias that I was talking about. Like, so someone like me, my mom has always said, keep your relationships private or your interactions private, because not everybody that says they love you or seems to love you really does.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's always been true, because the the overwhelming level of like dislike that some people wanted to share towards my ex, or about my ex, or about me when we broke up was shocking. Like, oh wow, so you really fucking hated me this whole time, and I thought, you cared, or like niggas that like secretly were angling for your position, but like acting like they were cool with you, and things like that. That like blew my mind, and and I think I appreciated that more, because you can kind of see that one, because that's just life, that's how things go, or whatever. Now,
I mean, but in that same situation, right? Sorry, but save where you are, bookmark it. I just real quick an anecdote. In that same kind of situation, one of my exes in Nigeria, right? Her friend, who I'd only met once, right? When we broke up, so my friend posted something on Instagram. She wasn't referencing me, right? She just upset about something, and then that other friend now posted a comment under that picture, and I happened to be scrolling through, and I saw that comment, and that comment was a mention on something private that I had shared with my ex, right? That person didn't ask, right? But then, so I knew that person was showing resentment against me based on something that I had shared with my ex. So something negative, right? So when you're trying to make your friend feel better about something, and you say, yeah, that's why, his dick is upside down or something. My dick is not upside down, but when somebody says something like that, and in the back of my mind, like it told me something about my ex, and it told me something about that person. Like, well, first of all, you're grown, you have kids, like fucking calm down. Second of all, I told you that thing in private, and you shared it with your bestie. Who knows how many other people you shared it with? Like, that's super fucked up. And then I now met that person on a different playing field, like last year or 2 years ago, and we got along amicably. And she's like, "Oh, if only I'd known." I was like, "But you're a grown up. Like, you should understand that human beings are not what you hear about them. There's actually two sides, especially when it's a relationship and you know that there are two sides to the story." So I feel you on that point where, like, an ex, and people trying to pick teams, and when I break up with people, I'm like, look, don't pick a team. Like, I did some fucked up shit, she did some fucked up shit, but we're done and we're grown and we're moving past it. End of story.
I think like, so there's little dynamics like that, right? Like, if somebody says to me, so when I saw the whole Terrell and Nikita thing and then breaking up or whatever, a part of me was like, my mom always said, keep a relationship private. They didn't. That's why that's happened to them. But then very quickly I had to dispel that thought in my head, of which I know that bias came from, whatever lessons I got from my mom, even if that's not what she, was expecting me to, to adapt that to. But I was like, I've never understood that. Like, somebody is in serious pain, unhappy about something that's happened in their life, and you're trying to, like, I guess, take advantage of that and like be like and rejoice in that. And I don't get that. And the thing is, it happens all over social media. So that's kind of why I want to talk about first. It's like, why do we love to hate on people so much? And it's different groups. It could be, and the thing is, some people might not even have direct interactions with them. And so in the conversation I was having this weekend, somebody was talking about like Yoruba demons, and I shared a story with them. I was like, I once had an interaction with someone that's not Yoruba, like an Igbo. No, she thinks she was from Edo. And she was talking about how Yoruba men are demons and this and the third. And I asked her, I was like, have you ever dated a Yoruba man before? And she was like, no. And I'm like, so why you hating? And the thing is, you be online trashing these men, but you've never had an interaction with them. And it's like, do we just do it because we want to feel among? Or do we do it because, we actually have genuine feelings behind that. So people like Beyonce or people's public relationships or Kim Kardashian or, even Jackie I, for example, like people have reasons to hate all the time, but you don't like have tangible reasons behind it. Like if I ask someone like, why don't you like that person? They'll be like, oh, I don't know. I just don't like them. And I don't get that because it snowballs because then you talk to somebody else about it. You leave those thoughts with them. You leave those ideas with them. And it just continues to pass on, to people. And I guess my question to you is, why do you think that is? Like, why do you think we love to hate so much? Is it because we're jealous of people? Is it because we wish it was us in their place? Or we're just fucked up inside and evil people?
I think there's a level of vindication that human beings like to get. And someone was tweeting about it yesterday. They were talking about closure. Like, why is everybody always looking for closure? Nobody owes you closure. If you don't seek closure, you don't necessarily move on. But you can create your own closure, right? And sometimes that kind of closure is by having negative feelings. Like, oh yeah, I'm vindicated. Like, I know that I didn't have a reason to hate Beyonce before, but now I do because, she's trash, her husband is trash, blah, blah, blah. And then they have closure and then they can move on from the topic or something or something of that nature. So it's like, it's a way of giving you a reason to sleep at night, basically. But again, with growing up, you keep that shit to yourself. With social media, and its prevalence, I think it's harder and harder for people to do, to keep things to themselves because everybody wants to show that they're better than the next person, which shows a kind of a sort of upbringing, right? If you have to run people into the ground to make yourself look good, then you're trash. If you have to, if you try to make other people look bad so that your own is better. Like for instance, I had somebody do a logo for me for my branding for DJ Woske, and that was about 3 or 4 years ago in Nigeria. And then I posted it. I was proud of it. I love it. I still love that logo. In fact, I made variations of it for my different businesses. And then some lady on Instagram posted about my logo. She said, "This is trash. I can do one better." And I was like, Is that how you're gonna advertise your business? Like immediately, it just made me have like bad sentiment about that person. First of all, I didn't respond because again, as an adult, you just ignore that shit. I didn't respond. I was just like in my head. First of all, shut the fuck up. I love my logo. So, but then from that time on, I started watching her page, right? Because it was someone that I follow, and looking at some of the logo work she had done for other people, and she really wasn't that good. And then sometimes I would like she posts like, oh, some logo work I did for this, so, and I was like, this is trash. But again, as a measured adult, you don't. I don't. Who gave you that confidence? You stop hyping bullshit, like, Anyway, so that's in its own. I just feel that some people just need to look at themselves and look at how they were raised and look at how they respond to the work of other people. Because when other people are negative towards what you do, it could almost kill you. Especially when you hype in your head, so much, that you believe. And I think that's one of the problems with the president, right? And I said that earlier, is that he's been hyped so much that he doesn't believe he's wrong anymore. He's 71 years old. He's not going to change. He's supposed to be president, right? And again, you made him president. Oh shit, he can't be wrong on anything. Like, why would he confess? Why would he apologize to shit? Like, throughout the campaign, he didn't apologize, and so his resentments towards Obama by him being president have been justified. So I wasn't surprised when he came out and said, "Fine people on both sides." Nigga, if you're a fine person and you're marching and the guy next to you is a Nazi and the guy next to you is a white supremacist, you are one of them. You are not a fine person. But you can't make that point to someone who is used to being right his entire life. And so you're just gonna have to deal with the president until he leaves office. That's just what it is.
Chai, that just sounds like Sofa Head Live.
Yeah, so I mean, it's upbringing, and the fact that we let our guard down enough to put somebody like that in charge is our fault, and we will just have to take our blows.
I mean, we definitely have to take that. Now, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, this is the one that I know is going to divide people a little bit more. I cannot stand the Beehive. I absolutely hate, like, they annoy the absolute fuck out of my soul. And why? I'll tell you why when we come back from the break. But I do not understand, and I know there's people that feel the same way. There's people on the show using the hashtag right now that do not like the Beehive. So let's talk about it. When we come back from the break on the Rants Show on Gidilounge Radio, we're going to talk about it. Why do we not like the Beehive? Primarily, why don't we like Beyonce? But yeah.
It's not everybody. I have no thoughts about
Beyonce. Shut up. This segment is mine. Like, when I come back, I can handle it. What's your issue? Anyways, if you like Beyonce, why do you like Beyonce? Because she posted pictures of her surgery altered self today, Abby. Anyways, we'll be back. It's the Rants and Gidilounge Radio. Your life, your music. Fuck away.
Yes, y'all. My name is M.I. Abaga, and you are listening to the Rants on Gidilounge Radio. Keep it locked.
On the beat.
I go walk, oh. She saying anything I do, I must to put her first. Hey, now my time don't come, yeah. Hey, me Sandra, baby mama, to my real niggas, move to me now, yeah. Hey, me Sandra, baby mama, to my real niggas, yeah. Move to me now. Small boy with two baby mama. Them born me baby girl, they no get wahala. Plenty dollars I keep for my daughters, yeah. And I'm falling for you like naira to dollar. Baby girl, make me carry the go. I want you, I know want to lo show. I know my wifi day on the low. No rush, we fit chat on the phone. I go FaceTime you when you get to your. Baby girl, you feel stuck on my soul, yeah. I go make you become great. I go give you your heart, whoever me Sandra, baby mama, to my real niggas, move to me now, yeah. Ever me Sandra, baby mama, to my real niggas, yeah. Move to me now, yeah. She say she wanna go anywhere where I dey go. She want do my paro, but baby keep it on the low. Go tell me lolly, Robert tell me wale. So we flew on a plane down to Chicago. Steady, she be feeling me steady. And she know I be a daddy. Oh, she get daddy, and for me steady. My baby wanna club, let her booty drop. I put her in a trap, she wanna show me love. She say she want groove, say she wanna club. Follow me, go to the early morning. Ever me Sandra, baby mama.
Baby, Kido, me now. All the girls them I want shake it. All the girls them I want shake it. All the girls them I want shake it, shake it. Baby, I go take care of you, passing on it. Are you getting me? Are you getting me? All your problems are no say solution, na ego. Are you getting me? Are you getting me? Mama born you, your mama born you well. And you're beautiful too. I want to hold you. Girl, I love you. Girl, I wanna love you well. I know you fell in love, but nobody caught you. When I got to your body, oh, baby, sick of me, your door. Your body, oh, now you wake up on my money, oh. I like this your body, oh, baby, sick of me, your door. Your body, oh, now you wake up on my money, oh. Girl, I want to know who be who. You go top level. Where are you, Scooby-Doo? Most of your friends now baloo. Malo rekrekete, malo rekrekete. Thunder fire the person. We say I no go love you. Mama born you. Your mama born you. And you're beautiful too. I want to hold you. Girl, I love you. Girl, I wanna love you. I know you fell in love, but nobody caught you. When I got to your body, oh, baby, sick of me, your door. Your body, oh, now you wake up on my money, oh. I like this your body, oh, baby, sick of me, your door. Your body, oh, now you wake up on my money, oh. I'm gonna stick with you like a bamboo. Are you getting me? Are you getting me? Pepper the rest, your tomato, you tomato. Are you getting me? Yeah. Are you getting me? When I got to your body, oh, baby, sick of me, your door. Your body, oh, now you wake up on my money, oh. I like this your body, oh, baby, sick of me, your door. Your body, oh, now you wake up on my money, oh. You know, say, I go Shashamura, oh, baby. Shashamura, oh, baby. Forget about Obi and Kelly. Only me and you, baby. Just me and you, baby, oh.
Mix Monster.
You're listening to The Rants on Gidilounge Radio with my son, the Wordsmith, and DJ Whiskey. Keep it locked. Mommy Ranter says so.
Mommy Ranter says so. Yeah. Okay. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
Why making noise?
Because my mom said y'all should listen to me. So, yeah.
Oh, he's so cute.
Why do you... Don't be unfortunate.
I celebrate you, motherfucker.
Don't be unfortunate. What's your issue? So... You're fucking useless. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Again, if you're just joining us, you are listening to the Rants on Gidilounge Radio. Your life, your music. We are here every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 a.m. GMT, that is Nigeria, the United Kingdom, and some other places in the world. Pick your time accordingly. Reclaim your time. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new to the show, to the rants, go ahead and let us know on the timeline so I can go ahead and shout you out. And thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it. Shout out to everybody that's listening right now and using the hashtag. We appreciate you guys. Shout out to those silent listeners who are acting like their hands are not working. Also, shout out to the people that tweet the rant without the S. We see y'all. It's the rants with an S.
Don't see. Fix your life.
We see y'all because I have to go and search for you because I can't find you where I'm supposed to find you. So it is the rants with the S. If you're just following us and you haven't following the show and you haven't followed us on Twitter, make sure you do so at the Rants Show. 2 S's in there. Make sure you also do the same on Instagram and follow the Gidilounge page at Gidilounge. The rest of the Gidilounge lineup includes the platform by ladies for ladies to talk about lady stuff. The Ladies Room, produced by our very own DJ Wilska, every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, midnight in the United Kingdom and Nigeria. Make sure you tune in every Wednesday to hang out with them. And then Banter Era is back. Thursdays, make sure you tune in. I believe it's Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make sure you tune in.
5 p.m. Pacific. No, it's Central, please.
Central, right? Yeah. Central. So make sure you tune in. On Thursdays, they basically talk about anything soccer, all the different leagues. You have our hosts, Moyo Dre and Ortiox. So make sure you tune in and hang out with them every Thursday. We'll go ahead and also tweet out the lineup of all the other Gidilounge shows. So make sure if you miss any of the shows, catch the podcast on the Gidilounge app. The Ladies Room podcasts are up there. The Banter Era podcasts are up there as well. Make sure you catch those and support the fam.
Love girls want to have sex with Moyo Dre.
I don't know what it is. I think it's the bald beard look.
Oh.
Yeah, and he always has that cigar. Like he's always like puffing that. So maybe they're thinking that he can use his mouth to do other things. But yeah.
Meanwhile, shouting misogynist up and down the timeline. I don't understand this.
I mean, it's people love to hate what they think everybody hates, but they really like it, secretly. But me, I hate Beyonce. Anyways, also for the Woske, come to Cali for the Afropolitan weekend and end of September for the Independence Day.
Sammy, buy a ticket for KG because if you put DJ Woske on the email, I won't get the ticket. So
I'm the one that should buy the tickets.
Send me to Cali. I'll take care of the Airbnb. Don't worry about it. I will rent a car.
For all our listeners, if you missed the announcement a few weeks ago, we are planning to host our listeners in the Bay Area for the Afropolitan weekend, which is the Independence Day weekend at the end of September. If you're interested, please hit us up at the Rant Show. We will be covering your housing for those from Friday to Sunday. So if you're interested in coming, let us know now and buy your tickets and come out. If you're also coming into town, the key part about that is the Rant Show will be doing a sort of a community service experience on Saturday. So we're going to be out and about in our local community here in the Bay Area, providing support to the people in need. So if you're going to be in town, we'd definitely love for you to be there and support us. So yeah, all things announced. You have been caught up. If you are not caught up, then I don't know what's wrong with you. So back to today's show. Wuske, why is it so hard for you to understand that I don't like Beyonce?
I know. I don't care. It's just weird. Like, the fuck, man? I mean, what's your business? Like, why are you having feelings about somebody else's wife? Like, if you hated your...
Okay, so this is the thing, right? Oh, yeah. Sorry. I forgot to announce this. Over the last break, you listened to 2 songs and my mom's very beautiful voice. You listened to Baby Mama by Chaba featuring Davido, and you also listened to Mama by Mayokun. There's actually a line in that song. First of all, he says a lot of questionable things, in my opinion. He says, I'll take care of you past your nanny. That's kind of weird. Then he also says, I know you fell in love, but nobody caught you. That's a sub for women to go to the gym. But people don't want to see it as that. But, I just believe that that's what he was trying to say.
You just made it about fatness. It wasn't about fatness. It was about
falling. Why can't you just use proper terminology? I was talking to plus size people. It wasn't fatness. It was plus size.
Fatness.
Okay, let me ask this question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody on the timeline right now that is part of the Bayhive or Beehive, whatever the fuck they call themselves, why do you like Beyonce so much? If some of y'all have never met her, and I say met her, I don't mean going to her concert and sitting in row 1 section 200 and 202, up in the stands in row 35. Like, why do you like her so much? Like, I just want to know. So if you're out there, go ahead and use that hashtag and let me know. Huh?
It's obvious why people like her, and it's obvious why people hate her, right?
Why do people like her? Because I don't know. And if you want to let us know, call us. The lines are open. 716-220-8552 or Skype us at Gidilounge or use the hashtag. Let me know. What is this? What is all the fuss about? Like,
what's it about? Are you ready? First off, she's, if not the most influential black woman on the planet. If not woman, like end or be all. She is arguably the most influential woman on the planet and a positive role model at that. She's super successful. She's one of the most successful women on the planet. If I had a daughter and Beyonce was her role model, I would not hate that at all. I think I'll just leave it at those 3 sentences. Yeah. So I mean, I don't get it. I don't give a shit. But and then she's also hashtag fodder, right? So during the Olympics last year, I tweeted that what's her name? The new girl, the 16-year-old that just won the not Gabby, the other one, Simone Biles. Mm-hmm. When she was getting her award, right? A bee attacked her, and I tweeted that like she had said something bad about Beyonce, and that's why the bee wouldn't allow her to stand for the national anthem. And I got like mad retweets off that shit. Like, so people just use the Bayhive to just get famous for one reason or the other. So that's why in the social media era it's like important. The Bayhive is important. Not even Beyonce.
Let me put it like this, right? Yeah. I don't not like Beyonce.
So
frankly, I don't care. I don't care for her. Like, I don't care what she does with her life. I could care less. If you Lemonade is on my computer. It's on my iPod. The only song I listen to on there is the song with it's Freedom, because it has Kendrick Lamar on it. That's it. Now, anything else is just there because I know people on the show at the time wanted to listen to the song. There was hype, so I played it. But I'm not a fan. And I also don't care. My thing is, her fans are annoying. They are loud and unnecessarily annoying. Like,
wait, do you have personal friends who are fans of Beyonce?
Yes. And it was so bloody annoying. Like,
just said on the timeline that Oprah is way more influential. I disagree.
I think Oprah is.
No, Oprah might be more influential than Beyonce, but not way more.
I think Oprah is way more in terms of Oprah is structurally more important. So if you were like to remove one of the two from either the economy or, you know, the global space, you see the right? Oprah size whole as opposed to Beyonce and her surgically altered self.
Yeah, so Oprah is a businesswoman, right? And she's done very well in business, and she's built an empire. I can arguably say the same about Beyonce, but on the scale of being an artist, and also on the scale of on the artist scale. So they're both great, right? I think that if you look at it, Beyonce is the Oprah of this next generation. So there's a set of people growing up that are in their 30s, maybe early 40s now, who in their 50s actually, who idolize Oprah. Now, people who are in their early 30s and down idolize Beyonce. So Beyonce is this generation's Oprah because it's generational, right?
Oh, she is not. That's no. No.
Who is?
Who's the Oprah of this generation?
Yes.
We don't have one.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oprah didn't become Oprah until she had aged out of her own generation being able to appreciate her. We don't want.
Not argue with you. So, I mean, sometimes you have to gauge an argument. And if you say there's no Oprah for this generation, then you're somewhere that I cannot reach you at. So
okay, let me ask you a question. Why do you put Oprah? What is it about Oprah that makes Oprah to you?
Well, so Oprah is a standard role model for Black women, right? And the standard
in what regard? In what regard? In terms of impact or economically or?
So I'm talking about clout here now. So I'm talking about someone who is successful in what they do, and the next person to her in that field is just far below. I'll say for Oprah. Okay, so let's even boil it down now. Shonda Rhimes, right? Shonda Rhimes is more of an.
Shonda Rhimes is even more.
Oh, calm down. Just chill a little bit. Shonda Rhimes is a lot more of an Oprah, right? Of like in the same space that Oprah occupies. Now, Shonda Rhimes is. You could say Shonda Rhimes is this generation's Oprah, but I would say Shonda Rhimes and Beyonce are kind of parallel in influence. I'll say Beyonce has more influence than Shonda Rhimes. I find it hard to say that, but I think they're just about equal in influence. For instance, Shonda Rhimes has directed shows that I mean, even the previous generation are respecting. Whatever that hospital show is, and then Scandal and all those other shows, and How to Kill a Murderer, whatever that is. So she has a lot of clout. She has a lot of influence. I mean, Netflix just poached her from ABC last week. And you can see how like the whole industry was buzzing about it. So yes, Shonda Rhimes has a lot of influence, but I would say equally, Beyonce has an equal, if not slightly more amount of influence, because Beyonce concerts are always sold out. Whenever she drops an album, like instantly, it's always pounding at the heart of, of what society is thinking. She sells millions of records. I mean, I think that Beyonce is what Britney Spears could have been if Britney Spears had her shit together. And so I'll say if you wanted to make a case for the space that they occupy, I'd say Shonda Rhimes is this generation's Oprah, but then Shonda Rhimes and Beyonce have a comparable amount of influence.
I believe that Shonda Rhimes is more influential because Shonda Rhimes can Shonda Rhimes basically owns like a whole day of the week. Like, she owns Thursdays. And, Beyonce can Beyonce whatever the hell she wants to do whenever she wants to make noise. But, okay, let me be serious because I feel like people are getting heated on what I'm saying. But the reality is this. I just don't like loud people for the sake of being loud. Like, some people can't tell me why they're Beyonce fans like that. They're like, oh, she's great. She's a great performer. Da-da-da-da. And it's like, all right, cool. But what's all the noise? Like, Beyonce will post one picture. Oh, my life. All my edges have been snatched. Oh, I can't breathe because Beyonce did not, she doesn't want to give us her Snapchat name. Who gives a bloody fuck? Like,
the one I don't even like is the Kim Kardashian people. I mean, she's successful in business, yes, but I don't see why she should be a role model for our daughters. Like, I don't see, if my daughter idolized Kim Kardashian, I don't think I would like that very much.
Let's explore that. Why?
That's me. I think that Kim Kardashian is a cannibalizer of influence. She would, and that family basically, like, they appropriate what is popular, right? And then they'll turn it into their own thing, and then and then black people now crowd in and then buy all that stuff, and I'm just like, no, that's I have a problem with that kind of appropriation. Like, I like it when white people try to appreciate black culture, they try to appreciate African culture, they're wearing dashikis and shit. But then when you now come and say you own it. Oh, I brought box braids back. Or, oh, this dashikis are Kardashian special. Kylie Benner, whatever. The name is Kim Kardashian. is bringing dashikis back in a big way. Well, that hasn't happened yet, but I mean, we're coming to that point where
we're going in, baby. Oh yeah.
You are the proletariat. Don't let me get take.
Wait,
because some guy was calling people, like maybe a friend who was a hairdresser or whatever, was calling people niggers in public, and she was supporting him, and she put out a statement supporting him, and people's eyes open, and in my head is the same Trump thing. I'm like, you knew this was this kind of person in the first place. Like, you knew that she's deep in within the ranks of people like this, and she doesn't denounce them. And so it's when it's like out there that you now start denouncing them. I'm like, you should have seen this from the get-go. Yeah. And I'm really worried for Kanye West. I'm getting too deep into the Kardashians right now, but I'm worried for Kanye West. I think he swallowed the Kool-Aid real early, and I just hope that man is okay. Yeah, but yeah. So but let's go back to it. Are we talking about the tribe or are we talking about hate? What are we?
I just want to know why people like. Okay, so someone like me now, right? The point I was trying to make when I even brought the beehive up is when I say how I feel, it's considered hate, or like you're hating on her or whatever. But it's like, I've never had an interaction with her or seen anything that she's done that's spectacular. Right? People always go back to the place of like, oh, you should go, to one of her shows. You have to be in one of her shows to see, the spectacle. And I'm like, that's not, y'all really think that's her? Because that's somebody else's job. That somebody gets paid thousands of dollars to make sure that show runs smoothly, and they come up with all the ideas, and she takes credit for it. Anybody that runs an organization knows that you just need a figurehead or whatever. My thing is like, why am I not allowed to dislike that when I have not had a personal interaction with this particular person? And I'm actually glad you brought the Kim Kardashian thing up, because hers, I understand in a way, and I will state my biases first, right? And anybody that's a Beyonce fan, first of all you Beyonce fans are shouting on my timeline, your hearts are doing press up, but you're not calling to come and tell me, why she's the greatest ever or whatever. But that one we'll leave it like salad. In case you missed it, 716-220-8552, or you can Skype us at Gidilounge to talk to the wordsmith, because I'm here for you all. Love you all. But Kim Kardashian, for example, right? I don't personally, and I'm saying this from my standpoint, I don't hate her. Again, kind of like the Beyonce thing, I don't have particular feelings. I just don't appreciate the clamor behind it or the noise when we all see that it's baloney. Like, and the reason behind that is like, we want to talk about, I feel like there's a bunch of double standards behind why she's viewed to be who she is, in terms of like altering her body and, oh yeah, she married a black man, so give her some kind of pass to a certain extent. All of that shit annoys me. My thing is, I see people like continue to hate on her for shit that happened with Ray J, for example, or with Reggie Bush, and it's like, why can't we let things like that go? Like, why do we? And that's why I asked the question, and we even asked the question before the show, on our timeline, which was like, why do people love to hate? And it was one of the polls that we put up this morning, because I truly believe that certain people, just have kind of in them to like, oh, I'm going to hate on this person or that person, and I don't really understand why. And that's why I was like, I wanted to know from people. So we asked the question, let me see if I can read you guys the answer of what people said. So we asked people today, and we said, why do you think people get excited about bad things happening to people? And 41% of the people said insecurities, 30% said jealousy, 8% said they were wishing they had more, and then 21% said it was just pure evil. And I believe that it's somewhere in between. The truth is somewhere in between insecurities and jealousy, right? I feel like some people just are not happy that you have what you have, or people have things they don't have, so they hate for those reasons. But I don't subscribe to that. I have reasons, specific reasons why I don't like something or someone. But those are biases that I hold very close to my heart. So for someone like me, like if I feel like you have resources, I'll tell you, okay, let me just state this. It's not hate, but it's why I don't like Kim Kardashian. Why I don't feel like she's such a role model or whatever. In terms of being a business mogul and maximizing opportunity, full props. She does that better than anybody in the business. Now, I don't like the whole I'm a big champion for believing in your worth in terms of your body and things like that. So if you alter those and then girls see that as women empowerment or whatever the fuck, that annoys me, and it's annoyed me about Kim for a long time. So when I hear certain things about her, I just completely ignore or I don't respond. But I see people who just hate on her kid. And I'm like, I don't understand it. And I'm like, have you experienced that? Have you observed that on the timeline?
Yeah, I mean, people who hate on children are a different kind of monster. But the fact is that it's a slippery slope, right? I dislike Kim Kardashian and the way she goes about things. And I think that she's low-key a racist person. But I don't carry that dislike to her child. I mean, why would you? Children are here by no fault of theirs. I'm a child and I didn't choose to come to this earth. In fact, I don't understand why. I mean, being an adult, being a human being is such a pain in the ass. Why couldn't I be a lion? I could be a snake. I just eat meat, fuck and die. I mean, why can't life be just more simple than that? But anyway, so what I have for Kim Kardashian is not hate. It's dislike. It's the fact that she's surrounded by yes people, so probably surrounds herself by a lot of black people who say, oh yes, Kim, do that and do this and do that, and so they don't see the fault in the things they do, and so that's a huge problem. I mean, I see other white people who are popular and I believe that they're more self-aware. Maybe Kim is not smart enough to understand the socio-economic, reasons why she should, understand that she's taking advantage of black people. But maybe she's not smart enough, and so maybe my dislike should be petty instead of. Sometimes you got to think about it. Sometimes you hate someone so much, and then you think about, maybe I should feel sorry for them. I'm this woman that Serena has beaten so many times, Sharapova.
Leave Sharapova alone now.
I pity her because she came to this planet to play tennis, and she can't.
That just for someone like that life sucks, because she came into an industry in a time where there's greatness that you can't beat. You can't beat. So you just have to accept that you enter one chance, basically. But we have a caller on the line. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Ajay from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Well, residing in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
What are you doing over there?
It's a long story.
Are you there by choice or by Trump?
By Trump, absolutely not. I'm here for grad school.
Oh, where did you say you are again?
In Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Girl, you better you better get that low tuition.
Listen, I'm trying.
Welcome to the show. So I know you're here to tell me why you love Beyonce so much.
Wait, that's not even. Beyonce's great. Okay. My issue, and I get what you're talking about, at least with the Beehive, like, and it's not even just the Beehive. Rihanna, Navy, Nicki, whatever she calls her fans, like, the stan culture can be extra a lot of times. My issue when we talk about dislike is, like, if you don't like something, why are you even discussing it? If you know that your best friend, your girlfriend, your auntie or whatever loves Beyonce and you don't like it, why is it even a discussion to have when you know it's going to be an argument? Like, I feel sometimes people just want to get a rise out of people, because at the end of the day, I mean, if we're talking about celebrities, we all have these, whether it's actresses, musicians, activists, that there's something about them that captivated us. Many of us will not have an opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with Oprah or Maya Angelou or Dick Gregory or whoever the case may be, but there was something about what they said, what they're able to do, their musical skills, the way that they talk, the way that they write, that captured us. Who am I to say that because you're captivated by such and such, and I don't think that she's captivating, that I'm better and that you're wrong? If you don't like Beyonce, you don't like Beyonce. Why are you interrupting conversations about people who love Beyonce? Or if you don't like Ronaldinho or whoever the case may be, why is that even a conversation that you're having? So much.
I'm glad you said it like that. Okay, I'm glad you explained it like that, because here's the thing, right? I typically like to leave people to like whatever the fuck they like, right? I don't appreciate when I don't like something and people have a reason or want to point out that I'm some type of way because I don't like what they like. Now, oh, Beyonce is the greatest, and I'm like, shrug. Why don't you like her? You know, you're just a hater. I'm like, no, I don't like her. Like, if you tell me, okay, let me give you an example, right? And this is not for any freaking soul to drag this person, but my favorite artist of all time is M.I. Abaga. Partly because I knew as like when I grew up in Nigeria, I was, I was able to visit the States almost every summer with my family, but I was a huge fan of Nigerian music. Like, I was big on Fela, I was big on Tribesmen at my time, big on the artists that we had there, so Daddy Shoki, those kind of people. Like, I was like that Raz kid that just loved our music because it was original. It sounded like our shit. So when M.I. came and was able to change the game in terms of not just be a good lyricist or a good artist or whatever, but basically like show them that it was possible to be really, really smart and deliver, but also connect to the locals. So for a second, because what would happen was, like, I remember vividly 2005, I went to the VMAs with my cousin, and I remember taking pictures on those, like, what's it called? Those disposable cameras, and we had to go to Walgreens to, like, develop the pictures. And I took them back to Nigeria, and I was showing my friends, and I was like, oh, I went to saw 50 Cent. But, like, there was this, like, view, like, it was like they had seen Jesus on paper or something. And I could go to school and talk about M.I. and people understood what he was saying. We related or whatever. And I saw that tangible change because I saw other people try to be like him, try to follow his path and do things like that. That for me was a connection because I was connected to the music and I felt something in that time that I was in Nigeria. I don't, till tomorrow, Beyonce can release 5 albums. The only thing that it's going to do is going to flood my timeline and annoy me, and that's it. And I'm okay. I should be allowed to not like.
Because there shouldn't be a reason that, why are you so, I think the issue is how bothered you are by it. It would be different.
Okay. First of all, okay, let me just say this. I'm the king of stirring up shit when I want to stir shit. So let's get this straight.
We know. We are all very...
I obviously, when I was working on my outline for this show, I knew for a fact that there's only certain trigger words that I had to say, and they were all aligned. I basically get information and go off on the timeline, and I'm proven right. But the thing I'm saying is, you might say there's value in her art or value in her work. If you say it to me, you know, like the greatest thing I love about Beyonce is her work ethic. Like she puts on amazing, at least from what I see on people's Snapchats, because I don't go to her show. She looks like she puts in a lot of work, dancing in heels, water everywhere, you know, kicking up a storm, shaking your yash that's not really there.
Oh, God.
You know, all of that.
You are such an asshole. This is what we're talking about. Why do you have to like bring up all these so-called negative
all of
her?
all of that
matter? I don't like her. End of discussion.
All of that I can accept, but the thing is, when I now say that I don't like her, why is it an issue today at work? Right?
No, because you.
Wait. Let me tell you like this. Let me tell you like this.
Her surgically enhanced body. Were you in the surgery room with her? You said that she's shaking her yash that.
First of all, like you know. Let me ask you a question. Ade, let me ask you a question. And we have another caller on the line before I invite her in. This question is to both of you. Do not lie. Don't lie. Because you guys know what she looked like before she went to have that baby. And you know goddamn well that picture that they posted today.
Have you ever been pregnant before? Are you serious on me?
So so you guys are abusing some me. I'm just making sure because DJ Oscar is your friend.
I have no problems with you at all.
Wait.
I love you.
Can the Rants page? I think we should tweet out. I think we need to.
So me just drop off the show. We don't want to hear it.
No, we need to tweet.
God, you call.
Okay, so I feel like, you know, we're allowed to appreciate. Somebody said, Ade said, I'm allowed to have bad taste. First of all, can I say this? Hold on. Let me put it like this, right? This is my ranking of top artists that I love of all time, right? And if I tell you the top 3 and you guys think I have bad taste, you guys should tell me. My favorite artist of all time is M.I., right? Partly because I also got a chance to sit with him in a room and have extended conversation with him about his mind, his thought processes, and his impact in the game. That's me. Now, my next 2 is a tie. I'm not really sure who I like more. My next 2 are Nina Simone and Ed Sheeran. And partly Ed Sheeran because I absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, believe that God touched that brain to be able to write out lyrics the way he does.
Wait. Of all time, like ever living or dead.
In terms. So here's the thing. I'm not like a big fan of first of all, I'm not a big fan of pop culture in terms of what the general public likes. I've never been that guy. Now, I have seen one of the things that I do from time to time is I just Google Ed Sheeran and see who he's written for. Or who he's, and like if you look at some of the lyrics of the things that he's written, the man has a way of taking an emotion or a feeling and simplifying it that you can relate to it better than anybody else that I know. And Nina Simone is just fucking awesome. Like I think you just have to say her name and leave it at that. You don't even have to explain. So I think if you list those top 3, I don't think it's a bad 3, but if I tell people, you know, they'll be like, "Oh, we're going to the Beyonce concert." I'm like, I don't care. You're a hater. I was just like, I don't understand. That question now is this: that is today. She posted pictures, right? Please, you guys should tell the truth. You guys know that picture looks altered. You know it. You know.
Oh, God.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Stop. Just stop.
Is that my mistake the other day on the one?
No.
No, it's the beautiful Barbara that's here. Tell us. What did you think?
Let me tell you. When I was younger, I didn't exactly like Beyonce. It was my dad that put me on to Beyonce. And he always, I don't know why that man liked Beyonce when I was a child. It didn't make sense to me until I was in GSS. And I was like, wow, this one is actually pretty dope. And I've loved her since. Now that picture, let me tell you, have you ever been pregnant before? Pregnancy alters your body, okay?
Wow, it alters you to have extra curves. We're done.
No, let me tell you, pregnancy boobs alone. When you finish having a baby, the milk, your boobs are gonna be bigger than they were before.
I think it just goes to show. I mean, I was mentioning Kim K before.
I thought the pregnant one before, but I haven't.
Oh, can you hear me?
Huh? Yeah, I heard you.
Yeah, okay, hear you.
So, but nothing of my dislike for Kim K is related to any of her surgeries or whatever, and she's like overhauled, and I like. And you redid everything, but it's your body. Do whatever you like, but you're influencing young black people with some negative bullshit, and I don't like that. The Beyonce body thing, I don't know why you're bothered. I think again.
I'm not bothered. Hey, time out. Yeah. See, that's the thing with people. When I express my displeasure of something, it's like you have amnesic hearing capabilities. Yes. I did not say I was bothered by her picture. I just said that picture looks like somebody did some,
Photoshop to it.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. See, it's like that.
That's all.
You better say surgically altered.
But that's expected now.
First of all, we cannot tell because, to be honest, that picture could have been either surgically altered or Photoshopped.
No.
One and the same.
No. You see, what kills me is when people actually say things like that about black women.
This woman does not look like this. Okay, you know what?
She looks the same. She has grown.
Okay, Beyonce. I have bust nuts to Beyonce in my young days. Okay, she does not look like that. She did not look like that. People are lying. Are you down the line?
Okay, but
was your body the same when you were a child?
She's now 30. She just had twins. I mean, first of all, women can gain weight in between their 20s and 30s.
We know goddamn well that we're not talking about her gaining weight. We're talking about the fact that one side looks like it was drawn by a protractor, and the other side.
Get out.
Do you know some dresses also do that? Some dresses make it look like your body.
So this is the dress. We're blaming the dress right now.
That cut of her dress, that particular cut, I can understand why someone would think that picture is either photoshopped or something was done to her body. But I'm still saying Beyonce has been in the game for like 20 years. Her body is definitely going to change. She just had twins. She has pregnancy boobs.
If she had one, say people say she just had one. If she had triplets, you say she had three. You are just.
She just had twins. Did you see that picture of her stomach when she was doing her baby shower? The one that her stomach was looking like a whole house.
I mean, it's very simple something. So now my thing is this, right? So I hope that I've painted a picture for you all, because this is the reality, right?
What picture? What picture is that?
The picture of y'all attacking me now because I said I don't like somebody.
That you're an asshole.
Huh?
What? I'm continuing.
I didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything. Just continue.
I just expressed my opinion. Is that illegal or something? I'm confused.
It's the way in which you.
Is the way I said it, Abby?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, the reality is I still don't like her. And
when die.
What? Do you see? This actually makes my point. How are you going to tell a whole person to die because I don't like Beyonce? Like,
see,
I don't understand.
You were doing it to get this reaction.
The thing that even grinds me is that Woske is just sitting there like a fucking dunce and not defending me. They want to kill
he's
me.
being a very smart individual. I applaud him.
Smart,
Thank you.
like
Smart by being suppressed? Really?
He's using common sense, something that you do not have.
In this climate of this world, where black men's voices are being drowned out by the noise that is the world, by Trump, by the agendas, and you are over here being
DJ
silent.
Watson, can you please get your friend, please?
No, hold on, something. You have a black man's voice. Don't waste it on saying nonsense.
Jesus,
That's it.
Wait, you said I have what?
You have a black man's voice, right? Don't waste the opportunity to say good stuff. You're saying rubbish. Instead.
Wow. So, I've always known deep down that you're not for me, but yeah. This is my response to you, because apparently you people are acting like Beyonce went down to Santa Barbara for 3 days and she came back with some summer body or some shit like that. This is my response to all of you. It's the Rants on Gidilounge Radio. We'll be right back.
God, you know it's feels on the beat, though. Don't stress, I got you on the intro. Can't lie, baby girl, you are set to Pamurege. Like the way you do wine and you bend to Pamurege. Nice look for me, my baby, Pamurege. You're the champion, may they give you the belt to Pamurege. Some body be loading, yeah, Pamurege. Some body be loading, yeah, Pamurege. Look at you, I'm a Ruby custard, you're not the bastard. And I like when you move your body like a snake or a jab, it's a pasta. Kilo dale, all the boys, them I go crazy for your matter. Lonely jale, money can buy love, I just want type of shit. Billy, body big like this, and sick like me low. For the culture, wine it my way and bring that low. I'm a day, no enjoy me, no keep pressing low. For the culture, wine it my way and bring that low. Can't lie, baby girl, you are set to Pamurege. Like the way you do wine and you bend to Pamurege. Wine slow for me, my baby, Pamurege. The champion, may they give you the belt to Pamurege. Some body be loading, yeah, Pamurege. Some body be loading, yeah, Pamurege.
Kilele ibadi, na confirm ni ibadi. All of me dead now my party, I confirm G, my party. My name, Papa. My name is David. I'm Atlanta.
What's up? What's happening? My name is Fouls, aka Fouls, the bad guy. Ladies and gentlemen, they're also calling me the What's Up guy. And right now, you are listening to the Rants on Gidilounge Radio. Don't touch that die. If you sing it, mommy, what I will capture you. Yes.
Yeah. Check. Bad guys in the beat. Sex problem. Yeah, I meet this dangerous girl for my guy wedding. She finds scatter, the body the mad person. I call the phone push based on the kind setting. But even she don't know, I they try getting.
This chick got me up on the snap matter. She real fine. She said her name was Agatha. She know the FaceTime. She they minimize data. So I they buy airtime for me big papa.
I can rearrange them, use my new tactics. The way I they toast, you would think I do practice. I they tickle the fancy of a true bad chick, like I did magic. It was too rapid.
My G's don't know why I provide the funds. Love my, cause she got the junk in the trunk. I did try show, sin I stunt, I did stunt. Wait I show, baby, what is it you want?
She said, give me something light. Give me something light. Give me something light. I'm not really hungry, something light.
Come again?
She said, give me something light. She wants something light. She said, give me something light.
She wants something
That is how she gave them. That is how the date went. Shorty keep my dreams with only that statement. She said she will knock me if I will have patience. I wouldn't even touch if she was stuck naked.
Yeah, I was in shock. How come you're not talking right? See, I can't give you something light. When we spoke on the phone, you were sounding nice. I'm in hot pepper soup of the catfish type.
I dey weave, I dey dodge when I see trap. You want something light, but you order 6 wraps, order meat pie, order pizza, and you still pack take away for your sister.
And your eyes on the plate of the next guy. 1 liter Coke, please. I don't like the pet size. You don't have spark. Yeah, please help me get rice. If it's not too much, or you add French fries.
She said, give me something light. Give me something light. Give me something light. I'm not really hungry. Something light.
She said, give me something light. She wants something light. She said, give me something light. She wants something light.
I want to be going home. I will not sleep here. Can you give me something light for thief here? Not even thanks for coming. You are wicked. It's not like I'm hungry, yo. I'm a big girl. Ogbologbo, she dey search for my guy. I told her wait first, I go bless you after. You said you go bow when you check the matter. This one we are doing is just dress rehearsal.
You want something light, something nice, but you're still wearing bra when I'm off in light. This your own attitude, it is soft in mic, and I'm taking shit easy, but it's not skin tight. And it don't seem right, cause you want to be great, but you kill the morale, take it straight to the grave. I be that number one, you could call me the gay, and I know what you want, so just cut to the chase.
And we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to publicly state tonight that this is a free country, and as long as Trump is on, as long on the throne, as long as Trump is in office,
where are you even going with it?
As long as Trump is in office and he's allowed to tweet whatever the fuck he wants, I should be allowed to say whatever the hell I want. And anybody
really,
that comes here,
wow.
Anybody that comes here to bully me,
wow.
To speak ill towards me, God will judge them.
Wow.
God will judge you too.
And may their Netflix password never work again. So
it has been you. It has been you.
We have Ade on the line. We have Barbara on the line. Wuske is hiding there being a bitch nigga somewhere, and we also have.
Is it my fault?
And we also have another caller on the line. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, it's Chi-Chi in St. Louis.
Yes.
Hi. Did you see the eclipse?
I did.
Oh wow. Did you wear glasses? Or are you blind now?
I am not blind. I had glasses.
Look at you. Must be so nice. Welcome to the show. Why are you here?
Wow. Why does she exist?
No. Wow.
Are you wanting me to?
That's not what I said. I just want to know why you're here.
I called because it seemed like you guys are having quite the conversation.
True. So, what would you like to contribute to the conversation today?
Well, before I do that, are you stuck on the Beyonce topic, or?
Oh no, we've moved on. But you could like, mm-hmm.
Okay. What?
Immigrant.
So what is that? What is the new topic? What have you moved to?
Just, why Nigerians like to hate on other Nigerians.
Oh my God.
Where did this come from?
He feels victimized.
Huh?
He feels victimized. Don't mind him.
Victimized? What?
No, seriously, what are you guys talking about? Last time I was listening, it was some bad man going on about Beyonce, and so if that has passed, what are you now conversing about?
What? Somebody said that? Wow.
Will you speak now?
Speak?
I mean, don't waste that blackmail voice. Let's hear it with your chest.
Are you a blackmailer? Why are you saying blackmail voice? What are you doing?
The same blackmail voice that he claimed was drowned out by bullshit.
That's that black male.
False equivalencies.
I think that I want to really say this, that I feel like people that like Beyonce just like her because she can dance and they can't.
Oh my God.
And that's probably what it is.
What?
I would disagree.
Sammy, don't be.
Like, seriously, okay, here's the thing. This is just what I find quite interesting, and I believe I said it on the timeline. The people who love Beyonce, they love her for the same reasons that the people hate Beyonce. It's all the same reasons. It's the same thing. And you have asked people on your show time and time again why they like Beyonce.
First of all, time and time again is like a stretch. Okay.
Are you done?
I've asked.
Or are you finished?
Thank you. Nice.
All right.
Okay, way to finish. So this is what I don't understand, because you claim that you have the right to say whatever you want. You even went far enough to compare yourself to Trump. Good for you. But here's the issue. You never just say, I'm not a fan of Beyonce. I don't really like Beyonce. You never say that. So for you to sit up here and act like, why can't I have my own opinion? Why can't I have this? You use very condescending and accusatory tones when speaking about Beyonce. So when
so this is about my paraverbal communication now, and not just the words that come out of my mouth.
Because you're trying to act like the people who appreciate her, celebrate her, and really appreciate her for what she stands for are these mad,
what does she stand for? What does she stand for?
You are the one that always comes in like, I don't even understand. I hate her. She's.
I never said I hate her.
You have said you said her multiple times on this show.
I never said that.
You said it back. Don't
run it back.
Backtrack.
I never said I hate. I never said I hate. I never said I hate. I said I hate the Beehive.
Beyonce. I don't know why people think I hate her. That was literally a sentence you said, and I'm sitting here.
Obviously, I just explained. I said I don't know why people think I hate her. That's because I don't hate her.
No, you said I hate her. I hate Beyonce. That was your sentence.
Shit, you made me lose what I was gonna say. You said you said something about my tone. So I'm being judged by my tone now and not what I say.
Don't realize it. Don't be obtuse. Don't be this person. You know what the hell people are talking about. Don't try and play coy. Don't try and play dumb. You know what it is. You even said that you even try to incite people. So to act like people, when your purpose is to incite people, and then when people
why are you coming up with all these terms? Like, is this like your word of the day lineup or something? Like,
no, it's literally you trying to throw. Literally you trying to throw rocks and hide your hands. It's literally, it is aggravating.
What's aggravating?
You.
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember my question now. What does Beyonce stand for?
So, here's the thing. If you followed her career, of course,
that's not what I asked you.
I'm trying to tell you what she stands for.
So
if you followed her career, of course you're going to come across things that people who pretend to not like her as you do not come across. So for someone like me, you have this young girl who's been working her ass off since she was about 6 or 7. And you see this person who has been ran through the ringer. She's gone, even as a child, all the nasty stuff that was being told about her, and how you're now like putting her body on display. It's the same girl that the media just completely lambasted about her being fat and her body being not the type of body the media should see. All these things, and the same girl who got when she had her albums, it was no after no after no, that even on her first album they told her that she had to redo it because there wasn't going to be a hit, and she decided to stick with it anyway, and she had all those hits. It's the same girl who does her incredible work ethic. It's the same girl who has been so involved in the Black community, but because people don't know about it, they claim that she doesn't. The same person who built a school with her mom to help support women who have been abused and women who are on the streets and women who have been addicted so they can find some type of career. She built a school for them, the scholarship she does. So it's basically a representation of how when Black women talk about how they have to do all A, B, C to Z and still not get respect, even if she's the best at what she does and still get talked to like she doesn't do shit, that she kind of represents a part of us.
Okay, so hold that right there. Is there anything that you just explained that is unique to her experience in sense of no other artist has gone through that before?
I don't know what other artists. I don't know what all the other artists can do. But here's the thing. No, but here's the thing.
Hold on. I'll let you finish. Let me explain why I asked you that.
No, because here's the thing.
Let me explain why I asked you that question.
And I said,
wait,
no,
now.
because here's what no, because you're failing to understand my age and how that correlates to her. Not to even mention, we've had greats in the past, but in terms of a show and putting on a show and how that can make someone feel, you can't trivialize that for a person. Not to mention, a lot of greats in the past, they can dance their ass off and it's amazing. Or they can sing their ass off and it's amazing. But not too many of them were able to do both.
Let me ask you a question. I want to ask you one question. Right. And it's not going to be you're probably going to try to, it's a question, it's a precursor to a bigger conversation. In terms of impact. So you're going to ask one question? No, I'm not going to ask you a follow-up question, but I know it's something it's a thought that I have or a belief that I have that will take longer than this show. In terms of impact, who do you think has had a more significant impact or telling impact on the world today? Beyonce or Fela?
Beyonce.
Good fucking night. Good night. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Good night. Good night.
No. Because the thing about night is that we can love his music, and Beyonce is a Fela stan, so I get that. But also for me, the reason why I say the reason why I chose the way I chose is also the notoriety, number one, internationally, yes. But I can't ignore the heinous misogynistic undertones.
That please. Okay.
I personally
that again. See, that's the thing. That's the issue I have. And the reason why I asked you that, and I asked you specific that, is you just did exactly what I did. Now, if you made something about Beyonce and her art,
you said impact.
Hold on. If you made it just specifically about their art or what they represented in the community in terms of what their mode of delivery. If you said Shonda Rhimes' impact is by writing great shows or great scripts, that's her job. That's her delivery method. Beyonce's is music. It's her artistry. Yeah. What?
And that's the difference because your answer was your question.
No. So what is it then? What is it then?
Your question.
Can you answer what is her mode of delivery then?
Your question was, in my opinion, who had a bigger impact on the world? And I gave my answer based on impact generally. I didn't.
Impact
they're
to
both
you, right?
They're both musicians, so I didn't just stick to the music. So for you to now then take my answer.
I asked you a question. Of course, now you're being technical because you know for a fact that the question I asked you
because you be just running off at the mouth.
Okay, you know. Yeah. Okay, now. Okay, you want to minimize the question, right? If you want to reduce the question, let me ask you the question. If you make it purely about the music, who has more of an impact? Can you?
Cut the show.
Hello?
She just roasted the servers. Oh my shit. The temperature in my room went up 20 degrees.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's happening.
In terms of the impact, purely by music, who has more of an impact?
Beyonce. Because here's my thing. And the thing is, and I also have to make sure that I'm not biased in terms of being.
You are biased.
No,
because without a shadow of a doubt, you are like you and
here's the thing. Why won't you let me finish? Here's the thing. If you're talking about impact of music, now you're as terms of what the music has impacted, what the music has done for the people. I understand why someone would say Fela. I get it, but at the same time, I also know
say his name
that
right
if you play Fela's music in various different countries, the people who will be moved by it won't be as significant as the people.
Okay,
if you were
no, I did not ask you who was more popular because what you're doing is a popularity contest. I said impact in terms of what has that developed for music as a global community. You cannot. And there's absolutely no way you can have that conversation. And my thing is, and I've had a conversation with someone about this, that some people truly believe today that Beyonce is white America's figurehead for music, in the sense that they picked one person who will cut across, and they've pushed her to the ends to where she is today. Of course, she's been able to break as she's gotten more stronger and powerful. She's been able to do things on her own, as you say. But